it started there was U.R.F. and then there was U.S.
Okay.
Swat. Yeah, we'll get to them. So there was U.R.F. and then there was U.S. They were in Mpumalanga.
Yeah.
And then U.R.F. was in a dancing crew called Dogmore.
Yeah.
A dancing crew.
Yeah.
So that's what they were. Mama Pantula strong. In Mpumalanga. Yeah? Cool. So check the story out.
So they were not hip hop?
Nah, not hip hop at all. Mama Pantula. That's what I'm saying, Guti. Every trap movement of music is Kwaito.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? It really is Kwaito, but modernized.
Yeah.
So cool. Anyway, we got Pantula, and then both of them moved down to Johannesburg.
Yeah.
Raf was a hustler in the streets, and then Uswati went to school, academy of something to study about music.
Okay.
So Raf finally get out the streets. So what Raf did was he took all his money that he used to hustle, and then he put it into buying a studio. And then Uswati being in a studio, missing in a studio because we operator and.
Okay.
So when Raf left all the street stuff alone,
yeah,
he ended up staying in the studio and cooking in the studio more. And then he
still was in the CBD, ne?
In the CBD, yeah, in the CBD. So they call it the Dogmore Studio.
Oh.
So now U.R.F. ended up having better sonic and EQing service. It's so better every time in Master Utando.
Come, don't be boring.
Ngoma yake.
Okay.
Ngoma yake uShaba Utando.
Yeah.
We took it to maybe I think 2 different studios where there'd be a white guy who's supposed to be this
some genius.
Yeah, some magical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, we took it here. He fucked up the song. You see what I'm saying? He fucked it up so bad. Raf decided, let me just master this song myself. I said, never love boy. So Raf decided, let me master it myself.
Yeah.
That's when he started mastering. But he's been mixing for a very long period of time. Damn. And then everybody knew me, and that was the studio. Mm-hmm. So everybody was asking me how this African trap movement thing started. So, and then Anele, or Saudi, or Melo Draw as I used to be, was part of a clique called Sitdown Famous with Little Clique Hip Hop, Panama 7, Vandal, Froz.
Is that back in the days about 089? Good quote?
2 years later, after 984. 95, yeah. So, I'm from the 984. Yeah, that's my area code.
I don't know what happened because I think they were doing well on their own.
Yeah.
So what happened immediately they signed?
I know exactly what happened to Amachita, personally, because I used to mess with Dome a lot.
Yeah.
So going to Dome, another thing, I was like a prodigy in Soweto hip hop. Everybody knew me. Wang stand by as somebody that's gonna be something.
Yeah.
So they always used to bring me around studios to.
Do you think they should have signed?
I think they shouldn't have signed, but I think they were really independent, being that.
There's a story that they sold apparently on their own 30,000 units, something like that, before they signed.
Who did they sign to when they signed?
I don't know who they signed to, but everybody was saying Gucci, maybe they shouldn't have, because they were more available before signing.
Well, at the end of the day, the story goes back to lifestyle, less work, and it being a group. If it's a group, all 3 of us or all 4 of us have to be as disciplined
and hardcore in what you do. But the problem is that I think people call themselves musicians, but they are not in the business of music.
Yeah, the business of music is one thing.
Yeah,
it's one thing.
You need to know that you need to be a musician every day, every hour, because this is your livelihood, life here.
Yeah.
Kids just wanna be cool.
Yeah, they wanna be cool.
They wanna hang. They wanna be seen.
Fools, seeing girls, all those type of things.
They think nowadays that like being a musician is associated with selfies.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know when I used to get it, let's say Devens and Lingwam, Umayoni and stuff and everything. There's one thing I always notice with them. They always have a laptop. Always.
Now then.
Massive busy up in the studio. Umayoni Sega Pumile Upis with laptop. I'm like these guys are in the business of music. That's why Italian music became popular, because they would be sitting there by the pool and they were always working. One day I go in your recorder, no D.R.U.G.S and everybody leaves.
Okay.
So I'm telling D.R.U.G, no, I don't want to go anywhere to any party. I'm going to sleep.
Okay.
So he gives me a bedroom. I usually wake up at 7 around about 3 o'clock. I need to wake up and pray.
Okay.
And we've been drinking hard the night before.
Okay.
There were girls everywhere. And like, Muhammad Bonker about that.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning at 3 o'clock. I pray. I'm going to look for coffee in the kitchen. Tira is already up on the laptop. They were designing posters that day. I was like, see, these guys are in the business of music.
Yeah.
So I recorded the whole night.
Yeah.
Things were happening. 3 o'clock, 3:30, he's already up. Because he knows
already good laptop.
He's a musician, but he's also in the business of music. Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
It's if we decided that, like, it's how a pastor would always have a Bible in life. If he doesn't have it, he probably knows every scripture. You know? Wherever she goes.
Wherever she goes, she got a thing on.
So these kids, they wanna go hang at my car wash. They wanna go to these fancy clubs and I pay Zulu. You understand that it's PR. You know what? But that shouldn't dominate life here.
Yeah, that shouldn't dominate. It shouldn't dominate life here.
That's why I'm with 99.9% of the time, if batting is free, I'm probably in the studio. I got enough songs to drop an album for the next 30 years, non-stop. That's what you do. And also the fact that we're living on borrowed time. You don't really know when you're going to die.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So Tatu's Java, Tatu Tabang, Namachi, don't blow in studio all the time. Take the booze to the studio, take chicken and everything. Make the studio your lifestyle.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Masiye clapping. So let's your performer, because we've done songs that people feel they need to book us for them. But we can't do that unless we're in the studio constantly, all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And there are certain habits in this industry that you shouldn't take. I'm looking back, man, you know?
Yeah.
This is real.
Yeah,
People are dead.
Yeah.
12 heroes a character.
Yeah.
With young men. There's things in this industry that will do it, that I can tell you now, guaranteed, they will kill you.
Yes, sir.
Who will attend your funeral.
No
Flop your drugs.
Yeah.
Okay? And you need to be careful with chicks.
Of course.
And at the same time, the kind of company that you keep around you must be extra careful. Television, when you say crew, if I say this is my crew and I'm crewing, I've got my cameraman there, I've got my sound man there, I've got a driver there, I've got my editors, my online and everything. That's a crew. Okay? What is crew when it comes to hip hop?
Now you already know we got the shooter, got the dealer, we got somebody who's gonna bring in all the hoes.
So what are these people doing in your life? They call themselves your crew. What are they doing in your life? What exactly are they bringing? Because more shooting video, you're gonna call one cat and it.
Yeah. The
one cat in a camera.
Yes, sir.
And then the other cat is director. The other cat was an editor. The other one was a grader. Then the other one is gonna call his girlfriend to bring the clothes. But that girlfriend has got a friend who's a makeup artist. Okay? And then that friend who's a makeup artist has got an uncle that's got a mansion somewhere with a couple of nice cars. Then you have a video. That's how I know hip hop. Hip hop was not about selfies and all. That's how I know hip hop. Everybody you call is gonna bring something. Like okay, we're shooting a video this morning. You pick up a phone, you call people, and everybody, it will consolidate and eventually it will become a video. Within that, there's somebody who's going to after film, and who's like, okay, fine, I'm gonna do a treatment for this video. So what's on your mind? And that's how a video is born. So what is the word crew nowadays when it comes to hip hop?
Of course, yeah.
You can't have people filling up your bars now. They're drinking your alcohol, they're eating your food, they're sleeping in your place, and they know which way now you are the VIP access. Wherever you go, they go back bangena now in my clubbing until you start irritating club owners. And at the same time, as somebody famous, you can't overexpose yourself. You can't be in clubs all the time.
Of course.
You won't be exciting when you perform.
Of course.
The game has changed a bit, man, because I'm seeing now, I see a lot of cats now with muscles. You know, the game has become that. TV has become that. So rather join the gym here with this new generation, do other things there. You know, like it's almost like an awakening to something else. Every year, you must wake up to a new consciousness. And that new consciousness requires ukuthi Ambitiouz ikubhadalele uvayo Plome Hotel uyi-1 with 2 writing pads and 2 pens. Hotel, breakfast, ocean. Hotel, breakfast, ocean. Maybe for 5 days. You're trying to find your next consciousness, your next awakening. You are taking yourself and you're making decisions about people. And those people must be out of your life when you get back to Jozi.
Actually, that's literally what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
That's literally what I'm doing right now.
It's like a metamorphosis. You're always gonna
metamorphosis
change into something else. You're always gonna evolve, and your evolution unfortunately does not involve other people.
I was telling my friend Lunatic Beats, he's the one who made the Karakara.
Yeah.
And I'll proceed to the little ATM story. But he's the one who made the Karakara, and that was, to my knowledge, that was the first hip hop song to become record of the year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So of course, he's going through nowadays. What we do, to me personally, my Twitter's my diary. That's what it is.
Straight up.
It's not really like
it's
just my diary.
It's
going to tell you what's going on in my life.
Yeah.
So he's speaking about it, and he was talking about how he got lost in the sauce. That means he changed in the journey. There's things that he changed about himself, and I got stand.
Yeah.
So I told him, like, bro, like, imagine a cocoon.
Yeah.
That little worm, no?
Yes.
That little worm starts growing wings. It can't fly with. It
doesn't know.
It doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Can you give it the most and whatever? Not understanding that it's turning into a butterfly, and not understanding that it still has all this resourcefulness and the intelligence that he's always had.
I think the last time he checked, he was a worm.
Yeah.
And then he went through some sickness, and he covered himself with silk.
Exactly.
And then he comes out and is something even more beautiful.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen in the music industry is that you're going to make these mistakes.
Yes,
they are
sir.
necessary. Okay? And then you're going to find a pivotal point.
Okay.
Something major is going to happen.
Yeah.
And that thing is going to change you. Major in my career.
Yeah.
It's how the record label tried to fuck me up. The original one gets off. Okay?
Yeah.
One or two women that I would have given my life to.
Amen.
They ended up going to the media. Okay?
Amen.
And then I went to my dad.
Amen.
And I said to my dad, this is what's happening in my life. He was like, no, I'm reading the newspapers. So what were you planning? I'm not the one who's a musician. Then we had that conversation. Now I'm having a conversation with somebody that I was trained to hate. From as a child. And now, all of a sudden, he looks like me. And everything that happened in his life is now happening to me. So I drive to the man. I'm like, what happened? It's just started the 80s, because I think I'm there. Did you see Sunday Well? He says, yeah, I think I'm there. All I ever heard was people talking shit about you all the time.
They told me
and irrelevant people.
I should hate you.
Yeah. So we chilled there until 5 o'clock in the morning. And for the first time, my father breaks down and cries. You know? So he stitches me up. And he says, listen, you're on tour. Go there and fuck shit up. I get into my car in the morning and I'm proud.
Yeah.
I'm renewed.
Yeah.
And naturally, with time alarm. The next most important thing is my grandmother's grave by O.V.L.O.E. So ngene O.V.L.O.E next time I go have conversations with my grandmother. Then in Kibeli Freeway. At that time, each time they wrote something about me Sunday, I would not go to a Soweto. Because I'd just see posters and posters and posters. I'm driving a convertible. I'd see people disapproving of me in cars. And for the first time I was like, I'm gonna drive to the hood. If I'm finding what in Soweto Sunday, whether I'm gonna go to the hood. Understand? It will affect you so much, Uguti. There were people that I thought now were embarrassed to be related to me. And they benefited from me. But because there was shit in the papers, now they were embarrassed. In fact, to tell you the truth, including my mom.
You know, now, this is my story. This is my story. Now, before being this, I was disowned. I was the unworthy son. I was in the streets running wild, and partly it is my fault because as a kid, I was crazy. I was running wild.
Yeah.
But there was a point where I was looked upon as and they're just waiting for my death to come. You understand what I'm trying to say? And then all of a sudden, this thing happens and then I'm your proud son. So I
it's
got
not exactly true.
Yeah, I got so many layers of baggage and dirt. You understand what I'm saying?
I went through that too. But that's why it's good. As you grow, how many is this year?
23.
Sure. Yeah, Nama was already lost on the streets by the time. You need to wake up to a new consciousness all the time. You need to read I Write What I Like by Stephen Biko. You need to read The Art of War. These things will give you another consciousness. Like, you know those days when you wake up in the morning, you're like, how? How come I didn't do this and this and this and this and this and this and this? These things, if I do them, they want to take me to this level. That's when your subconsciousness is waking up again to something else. By December next year or November next year, that is no longer relevant and your subconsciousness is waking up to something else. Hip-hop requires you to do that. Because you can see things here and they wouldn't make lyrics with you because you are not observant. And the mistakes that you've done in life are the mistakes that you can tell as a story. The young cats are listening to that and they're thinking, yeah, I'm going through the same thing. Then they change. But here's a little different thing. The sexual mistakes you make, manje, are definitely gonna kill you. We made the same sexual mistakes a O.V.L.O.E, but the stats were lower. You understand? You make the same mistakes, manje, most highly is upon. So you can't afford to make my mistakes. I made them at a safer era. It was another world. Manje, you even have people who will go out of their way to infect you.
I was speaking to your lady Zola.
Yeah.
Now? So we're speaking and I know you would understand this.
Mm-hmm.
Nah? The girl came through to the house.
Yeah.
Nah? Obviously, puppies bang shell every hour. So kona la benzo lahla kona. So Kenya lahla, okay, cool. She comes over and she performs oral sex.
Yeah.
Check this out. She leaves. When she leaves, she tries to say ukuthi pregnant. Mamela yena. Ngitshela O.V.L.O.E. Boom. Yabo, asebenzisa ama condom so. I'm trying to understand it, like it broke my heart too because I don't use ukuthi and what I'm trying to say is this shit is getting so hectic that
but
all
there's
you
nothing
need
you can do with
is
that
to
generation.
be in contact with me in order to build your case.
Listen, dog. This is not a Tyler Perry movie. Okay? In a Tyler Perry movie, everything ends well.
Yeah.
Our moms are of a different era.
Okay.
With amazing forms of abuse.
Okay.
So bad, there was a curfew. At this time, my mother would be probably preparing to leave the suburbs or she's going to get arrested. Hello, Mamiki. Sharp. At the same time, my dad would go out at D.R.U.G.S. Next thing he's arrested, he's being deported back to KZN. He comes back after 3 months, my mother is angry. Because if you didn't have a work permit to work in Joburg, most likely you'd be arrested. This is what my father is trying to explain to me. No, dog. It's not that I was always unavailable. Just the fact that I kept on sometimes being arrested. By my blackjack. If you know the white group, my blackjack. There was a group of men that did that. Pass special. Ipasi is that you're South African. It's special permit to work in Gauteng. And all of those things destroy the relationship. So, your mom, our moms are not ready for counseling. They don't know what it is, and even if you tell them, they won't bite. Okay? So, their reaction, their anger, and sometimes their misguided understanding comes from the fact that they are from apartheid. The greatest thing she fears is for you to fail. The greatest things that these other mothers have feared in the music industry, it eventually happened. The sons died. Your mom is sitting there, you traveling the country, road and everything. Your mom already knows Wuti. She knows who has died in the industry. Things were publicized when cats died. So she has a hidden fear.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen one day is one day I'm gonna find myself in Senaone in case and 90% of the time they can't say I love you.
Yeah.
Because our dads didn't say that to them and their dads didn't say that to them. Your job as hip hop is to understand things within. When as a writer, you are able to put things in words that other people aren't able to. You're able to translate things into words. But you apply that in your entire life. So at some point, much as I'm angry with my mom, I need to be sensitive towards her. At some point, much as I left home as a young kid and she never went to find out where I was, I went back and I bought her a house. Because I'm not playing in that. I don't want that energy next to me. That's another world. Mina, I live beyond this realm. I live in a world that most people may fail to understand. So knowing the entire pain of it now, and having heard her saying things as I grow, after anything, it was my job to do it. Now you pay now cash, you buy and then in Duana, and that's in Malinga in my life. Went and I bought the crib. After buying the crib needed to come and finish. Coming realize that my mom does not even have a teaspoon. All of those things needed to be bought. Okay? So what I'm trying to do now, I'm trying to heal this person here. Without even saying it. That's hip hop. That's what we do. To a certain level, you're gonna have to be Jesus. Get a bit of whipping, a bit of nailing, and a bit of dying. You will always wake up into something better. Blacks are angry. It's your job to understand them. It's my job to go and have a conversation with my dad against everybody's will. But it's also my job to go and update my mom how my dad is. And if my dad dies, I expect my mom to show up. That's just us. That's hip hop. So, scream and let it all out. Know the shit you come from. Know the product you are. The hood we come from, which is at some point can be a prison in Soweto, right? You need to free yourself out of that. So, going back to the butterfly, it eventually fills up its wings with blood in the veins. Then it flies. You need to find a way to heal, man. You have to. Or that poison will go into your kids. You need to talk to your mom and tell her exactly how you feel. If you have a dad, you need to go do the same. And you need to tell her, what I know that you are hurting. Tell her that. Tell her, what I'm not the man in your life. I'm here for this shit. I understand. That's what you do. It's your job now. I've been through all of this. I've cried too. I've punched walls. I've gotten a little bit too drunk out of anger. And I conquered it all. But I'm here, I'm at D.R.U.G.S. We talked. We had a vision. We got it, we won the awards. Those kids are gone. And Babon. I just remember Nimega and Joyo Ngabomandoza. I remember Nime song of Proverbs. And a host of other niggas that we grew up with. That fear all the moms have, other moms have already gone through it. Your job is to be alive now and survive and become wiser. And I'll always be here. That's hip hop. That's what we do. There's nothing wrong with you. Okay. Nothing wrong with it. This is weird. So wake up to another consciousness. You can only evolve better as a human being. Wake up to something else. I consider them poison. It needs to get out. whoever said tigers don't cry was bullshitting us. We will cry. You know I look like my dad. I'm identical. Do you know how much shit I've had to suffer because of that? Just because I look like him. My entire fucking life. Have I got in 15? But Washo Munyu Mama, what part of your sins is because you father no Simone. Don't you see what your man is doing? I did fuck all them, sorry. I'm the one kid that looks most like my dad. So you can imagine when your mom is fighting, but sometimes she's not fighting you. She's fighting her boyfriend because maybe you're of the age when she was dating him. Maybe you look like him. Maybe you tend to say a lot of things that sound like him. So get into the psychology of that woman. But she's a woman. She'll get a little bit more angry, and maybe she's a little bit more disappointed from your father's side. Maybe they didn't dignify her. So without saying, she's expecting you to be a better man. She thinks somewhere a candle you're going to work it out and you're going to conclude without her telling you that. See? So you go see her no matter how fucking difficult it is. And you do what a good son does. You bring food, you bring everything that needs to be done. As you grow, now she grows. When I was driving a black 300C Hemi, my mother was driving a black Mercedes-Benz. I even wanted the cars to be on the same level. See? That's hip-hop. We think beyond ordinary people. Alright? Ungakhohlwa, still have the whole world to see. So as we're Kenya, Ethiopia, Zambia, France, Spain. Meet other human beings and they want to teach you other things. Lucky for you, you got good company. You see? But Kara, let it out. Take a break. I the same cover. So problem. Yeah, take 2 writing pads. Yeah. Or get in the car with the boys, have a cool trip nearly, and allow them to isolate you. That's why I'm always in the car in at least 1 hour every day. I need to be alone. It's not unique to you. Almost every black child out there your age is going through the same thing. Including your crew members. You're of that age. I went through it as well. I survived it. I'm turning 42, so I'm also going through other things. There's other shit that come with being 42. So I rely on
some new shit.
Yeah, there's some new shit
coming from there.
Yeah, I'm relying on this woman to carry me. And she does shit. I've got teenagers. They're talking your shit. I'm a fence. Let them lose 10 at least. I'm supposed to pay for that card. You've seen this thing, they say iPhone, that's the daughter. Okay. And then the wife says iPad, and the husband is standing on the side and saying I pay. You see? That's how it works. End of the day, when you turn 40, we're gonna laugh about this.
I did.
And when you turn 40, you're gonna be carrying people. Those people are gonna be saying dead, that's how they refer to you. And those people will be trying to fight you constantly. But you're gonna be carrying them. Me, I got people falling on me, I got nobody to fall back on. So by the time you're 40, you'll be talking walls, cars, school fees, toiletry, camps, fleece blankets, tents, all that shit. Soccer boots, basketball. You'll be on another level doing other things. Like you're gonna stand in a shop and you really want to buy a 2-door convertible, but it does not make economic sense. You need a car like that because now you got kids. But you really want this car and you can afford it, but you can't buy it. So you're gonna go a 750. I have to buy that car. It's a tent because I got kids. I can't drive a two-door anymore. That era is gone. That's why you see these women driving these cars they call mommy cars. Yeah, because there's people and your dude has got 6 other friends and they want to come with. And as you grow in a public eye, you're gonna have to be more responsible for more souls. Because now people own you. So you can't be greedy. It can't be about you all the time. People look up to you. Some nephew of yours will ask you for Imadio give a seat because you're the coolest uncle.
And I need to understand that.
You need to be. Damn, he's 18. He's always here in the house. He prefers to be with you. And his parent hasn't been talking to you for 15 years. But dude is here all the time. Now you need to understand that he's adopting you. He needs a father. That's your job. Then you've got daughters. Because you are a man, your daughters will be fighting you constantly. But they love you at the same time. Yakumbula, the first thing AKA said when he had to Cairo, he said, I'm tired of fighting. That's what girls do. Ended that fight immediately, Magzalu Cairo. I remember this Magzalu Luanja, I remember this Magzalu O.V.L.O.E, I remember Magzalu Nyezu. Each and every one of my trio, my golden trio, was a stage in my life and things were changing. So now I can do radio and go home and have a proper meal. When I was your age, I was almost never home because of this career. So you've got 20 years of serious traveling and seeing the world. You're going to go to places that you used to read about in the Bible. Let it out. Let it hail. It doesn't belong to you. It's poison. It's the dark energies trying to make sure that you fail. Not everybody's happy with what you are doing.
I'm in a space where it's like, it's like I want to learn even with girls, ne? Ngaphakathi ngiyasha abafowethu bahleli la abakwazi ukunginceda. That's how I feel.
No, there are things that you need to go through alone. Look at this. You made a decision to be fertilized. You made a decision to grow. You made a decision to stay alive. You made a decision to turn around. Go through your mother's canal. You made a decision to take your first breath. That was your decision. You know, nobody ever credits the baby. People are always crediting the mom. Nobody ever credits the baby. The baby is like sitting in the house. What the fuck? You made those decisions when you were a baby. Those things, some of them you're going to have to go through them alone. Mang Valley show here. I always say all great things are forged in the fire. So take that heat, baby. That's my tagline every day when I close the show. It's only fire that hardens steel. And if you burn it 7 times, it becomes stainless steel. The fire is necessary. Very necessary. Let it burn. You know the nice thing about fire? That it eats itself up. Eventually it's gonna turn off and become ash. And Tina as Amazulu, ash is still very important. Because we use it to That's why I'm saying CP on. That's hip hop. That's who you are. There's nothing wrong. You are growing up. Yeah. It's an emotional industry. You're just growing up. What do you do?